I am so excited. Today is historic. I'm going to be reading out loud from my book for the first time ever. So come on in. There's going to be lots of giveaways today, you guys, so hold on to your seats. We're actually going to send you as a show up bonus just for showing up today. That's right. I mean, how much of life is just showing the F up? We're going to send you a different meditation of mine so that you can have another meditation and try that one on for size. Maybe you try that tomorrow or next week or whatever you want, whatever floats your boat. Okay, so let's get into the book. Okay, first of all, now, would you like me to take you behind the scenes of writing a book? So this is my book. What is it? It's not my book, because let me tell you what this is. My book comes out December 3rd. So publishers, they're like turtles. They're like, they move really slow. I have no patience. So I have to do everything like this, which, by the way, stick around. I'll tell you why that's actually good, because I'm not a perfectionist at all. So I just like go get it done. Like, to me, done is better than anything. Just ship the work, just get it done, just get it out there. So they're not like that. The book comes out December 3rd. Do you think that I would be so sneaky that I'd be holding the book, but not let you hold it till December 3rd? So let me show you what this is. This is called a dummy. They send it to you so that you can hold it up and be like, hey guys, here's the book. But the book is actually not printed yet. The book is written, the book is done, but it's in there. They call it pagination. They lay it out and they like sit over it. Who knows what happens, but it takes months. And then they finally give it to us December 3rd. So they send you a dummy, which means they make you a cover, which this is pretty gorgeous, I have to say. Can you see how the cover is all these like sparkles? And do you think that this took like 1 second? Do you understand the amount of energy that went into this book cover? But I really love it. I'll tell you something. The name of this book, Abundant Ever After, which then became the name when we rebranded the podcast, that took me 1 second. I just had that download, like Abundant Ever After, because I was thinking about the infinity sign, and I was thinking about our souls, and I was thinking about all we come to the world to do, which is to be who we truly are, which is abundance, right? As Wayne Dyer said, we don't get what we want, but we get what we are, right? We don't see the world as it is, but we see the world as we are. And so we are abundant. That's the good news. So if you get what you are, it's about unbecoming what you're not and coming back home to who you are. And then the radio turns on and everything that's already in escrow for you just starts coming into your life. Type of 1 if you love that. Okay, so this book is a cover I'm really proud of. In fact, my publisher said this is like one of their top 5 favorite covers. They're just so into the cover, they're into the title. Thank you so much. And then this the subtitle, that was effort, like to try to like figure out what's the subtitle. So we landed on tools for creating a life of prosperity and ease, because ease is a word that I love. Get me to it. Human beings are so married to the idea that things are supposed to be hard. We like beat this drum of like working harder on everything. And really, the idea is to feel the ease, because that's where everything comes to you like that. So I love the word ease. I love that that's so much what the book is about. And prosperity, yeah, like your birthright is to thrive and be prosperous in every way, to lead the richest, wealthiest, yummiest, abundant life in every aspect: health, love, vitality, creativity, everything, all across the board. Who's into that? Type another 1 if you're excited. So just because I want to let you know that we're going to be doing giveaways, because I want you to just feel the level of abundance on every level, I want my team to already go ahead and pick 2 people who've been active in the chat and give them $25 Starbucks gift cards, because who doesn't live on the IV drip of iced coffee? Let me find the person who tells me that they don't enjoy an iced coffee. That person's an alien. And this is what I'm telling you. It has to be. I'm kind of half kidding, but half not kidding, because it's iced coffee. Have you heard the news? As I say that, let me just tell you this. My husband doesn't drink coffee at all. He went to law school and doesn't drink coffee. He lives his life. And that alone tells you we are not compatible. Okay. So what is this book then? They sent me this cover, and they put it on like a random book that they had. So this is the book they actually sent me. It's called The Book of Science and Antiquities. I haven't sat down and read it. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a sign for me. Maybe I'm supposed to sit down. Maybe my Father in heaven made them send me this book. I'm not sure, but didn't read it. So that's what's inside. And then we'll actually all together, actually, I'll probably get, let's say this. This is a good segue to something else, and then I'll read you the book. I won't read you the whole book, but I'll read you a piece. I will probably get advanced galleys of the book in about a month in my hand. And we will probably send those to some of you, and in exchange ask, not mandatory, but ask you to leave a review on Goodreads. And so type a 1 in the chat if you would like to be one of those people. I would love to send you one. And that's in about a month. And I love you for loving me. I mean, it's really nice. Thank you. I'm just the same girl I was in 7th grade, and nobody loved me then. That was a very hard year. So I so appreciate, if they could see me now. I'm just kidding. Not kidding, actually. They were so mean. But anyways, what I wanted to say is, how many of you type a 2 in the chat, just because I'm telling you to type all these things, we won't be able to keep track. Type a 2 in the chat if you are on our street launch team. By the way, why do we call it a street team? I don't know. That's what people call it. It's like, are you on the street? Are you working the streets? Are you walking up and down streets? Nothing like that. Has nothing to do with the street, but people call it a street team. I think it's just a name that kept going and recycled through bands and people who help be groupies. I don't know. But if you're on the street team, that would be a great way for us to send you one of these copies. And guess what? It costs nothing to be on the street team except for love. It costs love. So if you'd like to join the street team, can my gorgeous team put it in the chat? Oh, you already did. Is that what it is? Esgy, kathyho.com/launch. Join the street team. Let me tell you why. I have other exciting announcements. When you join the street team, there's like a bingo card of things that we, again, we're asking, this is very casual. We're asking like, hey, will you shout out the book? Hey, will you leave a review? And then when you black out this bingo card, you get gifts. It's just a way to help each other and love each other. I think it's kind of fun. So go join the street team, and then some of you will be sent like a galley in your hands, maybe even with Starbursts, because I like to send things with candy too. I just think that that's okay. So there's that. I want my team to find 2 more people that have been active and amazing in the chat and just give you guys $25 gift cards. So now we've given away 4. We're 10 minutes in. We've given away 4 iced coffee gift cards. You could obviously get a hot coffee, but why would you? It's 103 degrees outside my house right now. That's not a joke. Okay. So let me tell you something else that's super fun. We're going to do other giveaways, like really spicy ones. So by the end of this hour, I'll have given away 3 pairs of Beats headphones, because listening to podcasts, you need headphones. Or you're like me, who literally records the podcast in the middle of my living room without a microphone or headphones. P.S. Do you realize that that's what's happening? This is what's happening. This is how much of a underachiever I am. Okay, this is here for you guys. You get to be this. You don't have to overthink your life. It's available. Okay, just saying. It's very walk on the wild side. We will have given away 3 pairs of Beat headphones by the end of this. And guess what? Gather round. So for those of you on the street team, I just made a video. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't. And I told you the following, that whoever buys the most books, and by the way, the most books could be 8 books, 9. It's like a choose your own adventure, but we're going to choose the 10 people who tell us, because we'll let you know how to tell us that you bought the most books. And I'm going to take you to lunch at Hotel Bel Air, and we're going to spend a few hours together. How fun is that? I mean, I want to go. Let's go. Just to be like, why not? We'll do that a few times. So, and let me tell you something else. For those of you who don't like that idea, and P.S., I could see why you might not like it. You'd have to come here, which is a whole thing. So here's another giveaway we're doing today. Are you ready? For anyone, whether you signed up for the street team or not, just because you're here. In the next 24 hours, whoever buys the most books, let's say you want to buy extra books, friends, holidays coming up, because the book comes out December 3rd, right? Wink, wink. The 2 of you who buy the most books are going to get a one-on-one Zoom session with me. Type a 1 if that sounds fun. Why not? And it's kind of like, who knows how many the most books will be? The most books could be 6. The most books could be 3. Right now, most people have bought 1 book. So you've got good chances right now. And I just figured, why not? I'm here to help. I'm here to offer support. It seems like I'm a really good coach. It seems like people are saying they're getting good results, and I enjoy it. So if it's fun for me, why not do that? So can my team put in the chat, just remind everybody how they can tell us how many books that they bought. They could probably send us an email. You could probably send an email with the subject line, one-on-one raffle, and then just send a screenshot of your order number. I would say, let's do it that way. And maybe my team can just put it out in the chat. Okay, so there's been a lot of delay. Boy, am I long-winded. Good thing, my husband's like, good thing podcasting came out, because like you just have a place to just do this. I'm like, I know, it's really fun. Okay, so I'm going to do Masterpiece Theater. Is it Masterpiece Theater? Was that the guy from Silver Spoons? Would he sit in front of a fireplace? What am I confusing? What was it called? I feel like the guy from Silver Spoons, the grandfather, would like sit in front of a fireplace and read a book. What was that? I don't know, but it's burned in my brain. Okay, so I'm not really going to read from this because it's actually on my screen because it's not in here. Punky Brewster is my doppelganger for sure. I wish I could show you pictures. You know what? Let me just take you down memory lane, because well, you know what? This is just going to take too much time, but I could show you me and looking like, well, here's a picture that my mom just sent me of me and my sister when I was 7. And we put my cat in like this not kitty, like baby, like thing that sits at the table. I think I look a little bit like her. Every time I turn around, I see the world that turned I just changed the words. I see the girl that changed my world around, standing there. And my sister's glasses, is this a blackmail photo? What do you think? I'm just kidding. Okay. Kidding, not kidding. All right. Guys, since people have been so nice, and that's like the biggest compliment, that I look like her. So although she had like way bigger boobs than me, but I think that was like the cover of like Teen Beat, that she had like a breast reduction when she was like 14. So we didn't have that in common. So because people have been so nice, pick another 2 people. So now we've given away 6 Starbucks gift cards. Go get some coffee. Okay, are you guys ready? We are going to do the following. I'm going to read you the intro, and then I think I'm going to read you all of chapter 1. And then I might stop in between and ask you to like journal. So maybe get out a paper and a pen. All right, so here we go. Let's be serious. No, let's not. There's no serious trees. There's no serious polar bears. There's nothing serious, but people. Okay, how am I going to do this? I need to like move my screen so I can see your cute chat, and then I can read at the same time. I can chew gum and walk, but can I host a Zoom call? This is what we're trying to find out. Can it be done? Can it be done? I think we got it. Okay, so here we go. This is the intro, guys. You ready? You're the first people to hear it. It's very exciting. Okay, here it goes. This is it. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. You've come to the right place. I'd like you to take a moment and ask yourself, why did you pick up this book? What are you longing to be shown? I believe that all the answers live within you, and if I'm successful, then the pages of this book will walk you home to yourself. There's a part of us that knows that things can be simpler, more peaceful, and more fulfilling than they currently are. This book will show you how to set down the unnecessary heaviness and unlock magnificent possibilities. I'm going to walk you through a process that helps you understand how to use the tools you've been inherently given to create the most amazing life. Imagine if your friend had a waffle iron and used it as a paperweight. She would be missing out on what would have been a lifetime of the most delicious breakfast, all because she didn't know how to use the features of this awesome device. Think of yourself as an amazing instrument that was meant to play the most beautiful music, a Steinway piano that has sat in the living room collecting dust because you never learned how to play the keys. In the pages of this book, I will explain the major components that help you access your own power within. You will learn about energy, how to modulate your own frequency, the oneness of all things, and your connection to the divine. I will help make it all make sense. You will see things through new lenses. You will heal your relationship with money and become a better receiver of all blessings. This is about so much more than taking great vacations, launching a business, or changing the way you save. This is about altering your mindset away from scarcity, money fears, and tuning into the bountiful, positive energy of the universe. Okay, just check. I'm gonna just look at the chat. How are you guys liking this so far? That waffle iron thing was pretty cute. You guys, me writing a book, I just have to really just pull it all in. And it's actually cool to watch myself do it because it takes discipline to just lock it in. And it's really a cool process, but boy, did it take a minute, 2 years. Okay. We are so married, so committed to the illusion, to the idea that the way it works is for it to be hard earned. For it to be hard earned, and the actual truth is that the law of conservation says that energy cannot be created or destroyed. So what does it mean? It means that it is so much bigger than what you're trying to figure out. It means that there's a river called your life that was set in motion, and it's easy to flow with it. It means it's meant to be easy. It is meant to come in synchronicity. It is meant to come in as blessing. It is all here already, hidden in plain sight. It is already done. You're making it harder because you're going in the wrong direction. None of it happens through hard work. None of it. There is evidence to tell you that when you focus, on what you focus on creates a feeling in your body. What does it feel like to play, to breathe, to find your inherent worthy power? It's done because the river of it already existed. It was just beckoning you in, asking you, how good can you tolerate feeling? How much better, so that you could flow, because the flow state is bigger than you. That is where it all happens. The best way to figure out how to be in the right place at the right time is to know you're already in it. You were already in the right place at the right time. So the way to get there is to be. Stop being in the past. Stop projecting the past onto this moment, which means you're not in the right place in the right time because you're not here. When you let go and you enjoy and you breathe, the synchronicity, the flow state will come and hug you so tight, and you'll bump right in to everything that you've been seeking, because what you're really asking for every day is a mystical experience. The only way into the mystical is to drop the addiction to probability. Nothing gorgeous that has ever moved humanity forward comes from probability. None of it was probable, but there it was. You're going to realize that humans are largely married to the idea that things have to be hard, when in actuality, they were meant to be so much easier. You're going to nod along in many parts because you're going to be reminded that there is so much in this book that you already knew. You might start to feel happier. You may notice opportunities begin showing up in your life. You may start to observe a synchronicity and uncanny coincidences becoming a daily norm. You may have new ideas. You may have inspired downloads and moments of creative flow that begin to emerge. You may start taking better care of yourself and finding yourself enjoying more of life's little moments throughout your day. Perhaps you'll feel satisfied, whole, and suddenly awake to an endless amount of beautiful possibilities that are here for the taking. One thing's for sure, you will learn how to access your own vibration, and you will begin to see how that's the most powerful thing you actually offer the world. You will understand how to focus your attention in a way that will allow you to imprint the most beautiful energy. And once you do, you will be abundant ever after. Remember, as Rabbi David Aaron said to me, you are a masterpiece, a piece of the master. You are already whole, you are already abundant, you are already worthy, and you are already a master manifester. Okay, how does that feel? That was the intro. You're the first to have heard it, besides my team and everybody who's been on the copy editing side and da-da-da-da-da. Is that good? Do you like that? Is that like listening to good jazz? P.S. There is, what I'm reading you is the last manuscript digital that I have, and it's been a tiny bit tweaked since then, so that's even more exciting. A little bit of that was, what's the word? We chopped, we edited a little bit of that out. I would say probably 1 or 2 paragraphs of that is not in the book. How does it feel? Okay, so this is the question. Get out a pen and paper. First of all, I want my team to give a pair of Beats headphones to somebody who just told us how that felt to hear it. I want you guys to have that. And by the way, if you want, use those Beats headphones to feel good. Use them to meditate. We're going to send you a meditation link. Use them to listen to the podcast. Use them to dance. Put on some Meghan Trainor. Feel good. Feeling good is your job. Feeling good is your job because the more you move into that boiling water of feeling receptive and alive, boom, synchronicity shows up. Boom, you start being available to see a path, to see an opportunity that's always been here. You just can't see it when the radio's turned off. So take out a pen and paper. What did you hear in the intro that you needed to be reminded of? Write that down and share it with us. What did you hear in the intro that you needed to be reminded of? Abundance is already here. I'm already whole. Ease. That's supposed to be easy. Letting go of everything I'm not. Doesn't have to be hard. Stop living in the past. So good. Ah. And here's another question, which is, what is one tiny thing that you could think today or do that would feel more like ease? What is one tiny thing that you could think or do? Here's a suggestion. There are clues everywhere. You could be thinking that. The universe is not net neutral, it's net positive. I am always being led to what is in my highest and best. There's a few. I just rattle these off. You guys stay with me. I can just rattle these off. You don't need ChatGPT. It's all in here. What you think about creates how you feel, and it creates how you see. It's like changing the lens. It's changing the movie projector that goes up on the screen. And more than that, even more than that, since E equals MC squared and energy creates matter, when you are in a higher vibration, you can bend the 3D, you can move it. When you're in a low vibration, you got nothing. You're more matter and less energy. Think about how it works in a toaster. It gets hotter and hotter until that energy is so potent, right? That fire, it bends matter. Same thing with boiling water, right? Energy creates. Think about an orgasm. Energy creates matter. Energy, it has to be really potent. So when your energy is kind of low vibe, you just don't have your tools. You're out of tools. I want my team to give another Starbucks gift card to somebody who's answering questions. I like you guys to feel seen and rewarded. Okay, so I'm going to now read you a piece of chapter 1. And by the way, we're going to do this again. You guys, all right, type a 1 if you're excited about that. We're going to keep doing these book clubs so that you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait till December. You're going to get it. You're going to get it all. Although it's really fun to have the book because I like to highlight things and it's just so fun to like turn the pages and all of that stuff. Okay. So now I'm going to read you. Now I will say this. This is, as I said before, this is something that is actually extra special to hear because this is the last version of it digitally that I have, but it's already gone through a little bit of a wash. And so the actual version is even more, I don't know, it's a little bit more precise and we've edited stuff out. So it's kind of cool because you're hearing it's like watching the Seinfeld pilot, right? Before it like became like it. So you're getting to hear sort of like the almost version of it, which I think is even cooler on some level. Okay. So here we go with chapter 1. Here we go. Let me just move my screen so I can see the chat better. Let me move this. Okay, let me just shrink this screen because I want to be able to see the whole chat. And now, if I move this over here, let me move this over here. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to line it all up. Okay, here we go. When you okay, chapter 1, abundance. Be a receiver. When you think of the word abundance, what comes to mind? Is it a pile of money? Is it a beautiful vacation home on the beach? Is it eating your favorite takeout every night? Is it a first-class plane ticket? Is it writing a check for millions of dollars to a charity? Is it being able to do what you love and getting paid well for it? Now imagine you have those things. How does that make you feel? I was raised like many people thinking that abundance was a certain level of success that was achievable through hard work or luck. Every challenging conclusion people draw is that all of life is a race to see who can achieve the most. This approach has left a lot of people feeling empty and depleted. What's even worse is that the key to their own happiness was always within, and the path was actually so simple that they skipped right over it. Contrary to popular opinion, abundance is more than a giant bank account. Abundance isn't actually about money, but we have a false perception that the more money we have, the more full we'll feel. The truth is, we didn't come to the world for a pile of things. We have much bigger dreams than that. We came for an elevated state of consciousness, a feeling of wholeness and connection. It's the feeling of inner peace, creativity, and contribution. You've likely heard about the law of attraction, where things that you desire are outside of you, and your job is to attract something that's at a distance from where you are. We were taught that all we had to do was get clear on what we wanted and it would materialize. Many of us who bought into this idea are still waiting for the results. We're still pining for our dreams somewhere over the rainbow and wondering, why haven't I attracted the life I dream for myself? Why is it not working? Well, what if I told you that the law of attraction actually holds us back a bit from allowing in more? What if it's not about attracting at all? What if the magic is in receiving? And receiving is in italics, so it's like really trying to tell you something. My teacher, Rabbi David Aaron, was the first to help me understand that the universe actually works through the law of reception, based on the word Kabbalah, which means to receive. The idea is that everything that we need and most desire in life is already here. You don't have to attract it, you just have to receive it. You just have to allow it in. There's nothing at a far distance from us and nothing we need to force in order to have it. Right here in this moment, all potentials already exist. And the question is, how much do you allow yourself to receive? When first explaining this concept to me, he used the radio as a metaphor, and I love it so much. As a latchkey kid in the 80s and 90s, I had my Sony boombox to keep me entertained. It was one of those old school boomboxes with the rabbit ears, and depending on the day, I would manipulate those ears to tune it to pop stations, oldies, sometimes rock and roll. A variety of music was at my fingertips, and it was up to me to tune the station of what I chose to receive. Here's my way of understanding this metaphor. The whole journey here is about being a receiver. If I had a radio sitting next to me, if I turn the radio on, I'll hear music. If the radio is off, I won't hear it. So turn it on. But then once I turn it on, depending on what the radio is tuned to, it will change the broadcast. And so if I tune it one way, I might hear a salsa song. If I tune it another way, I might hear a hip hop or a classical song. What's controlling the music? What's controlling the broadcast? It's the receiver. And where's the music right now? It's right here. It's already here. The music is hidden in plain sight. It requires the receiver to be able to tune to hear it. All the stations are hidden in plain sight. Everything I could possibly listen to, and depending on where the station is tuned to on the receiver, that's what I will hear. So what's in control of what is broadcast? It's whatever the receiver is picking up. When we look at it this way, we realize that all potentials exist in the quantum field. All realities exist in this moment, and the one you're in is the one you're selecting. The experience of your life is the one you're receiving. It's the radio station that you've chosen. You just don't necessarily know that. But once you understand that you're the receiver and you get to select from the quantum field what music you want to broadcast, you realize, wow, that is unbelievable. That is so empowering. I can choose a different station. Did you get that? All the music was already there, and this part's in bold. I simply had to tune into a different frequency to receive a different type of song. That is how abundance works. I'm just going to look at the chat. Type a 1 if you love that. Type a 1 if you want everybody you know to read that. So go buy 5 more copies. I wrote this book and feel so excited about it. The first book I wrote was Don't Keep Your Day Job, which I also was proud of that because it was about doing what you love, right? But I really didn't talk about it much after it came out. It came out literally 2 minutes before the pandemic, and then it just felt really out of tune to talk about in a way, even though it was in tune in other ways. But the point is, this book I'm so proud of, because it's wisdom that I've collected from sources so much bigger than me. And it's also wisdom of mine. It's also how I make wisdom make sense. But I think it's required reading. I feel like everybody should read these kinds of words, and they may as well read these. So I love that you love it. Okay, you want me to keep going? That was just the beginning of chapter 1. Okay, here we go. As Wayne Dyer said, we don't get what we want, we get what we are. If you want more love in your life, be love. If you want more abundance, find within you the abundance of your soul. If you want more joy and blessings, become the radio station that is tuned to this delicious, energetic force of true ease. What we're craving is never outside of us. What we're longing for is the fullness of our own life force. When we find a way to truly be present in our highest consciousness, then we find the wholeness within. The more we broadcast this kind of frequency, the more we manifest so much around us. We are creators. We came to the world to create more love, more connection, more beauty. We can't create from lack or feeling like anything is out of reach. We create from this place of feeling whole. This is all still part of chapter 1, but it says, set your radio dial. You might be wondering, who the heck am I? Who the heck am I, Cathy Heller, to be asking you to make some bold shifts in the way you think about wealth, success, and life itself? Why have I written a whole book about this? I have been on a quest for over 3 decades. My parents had a really hard marriage and a horrible divorce. I went through a lot of painful times, and I saw my mother struggle with intense heartache, depression, and anxiety. My dad left when I was young and things were extremely difficult. I felt very lost and broken, and at the age of 15, I started seeking answers and looking for the meaning of life. I wound up spending 3 years studying in Jerusalem, followed by learning meditation and mindfulness at UCLA. Eventually, I started teaching meditation, and then began coaching thousands of women, leading retreats and teaching courses. I built a multi-million-dollar business by following my passion. In 2017, I started a podcast that allowed me to interview over 850 brilliant minds. Now that's 920, so you can see how long it's been there since that was published. I started a podcast that allowed me to interview over 850 brilliant minds, including Deepak Chopra, Jon Kabat-Zinn, Byron Katie, Mitch Albom, and Marianne Williamson, to name a few. I learned that you don't have to live a life of quiet desperation or buy into hustle culture to be fulfilled, but rather there's a path to abundance and happiness that is paved with ease. The beautiful thing about truth is that all rivers lead to the same ocean. Everyone winds up at the same destination, and that answer is what I will share in this book. Then it says, plug in. Whenever I talk in my coaching or workshops about money, abundance, and the things we most desire in our lives, there's an impatience that will swell in the room until finally someone asks, but what's the actionable strategy? How do I actually do it? Are you still wondering about this too? The answer, create a ripple effect with your energy. Like skipping stones in a pond, our energy makes an impression and it casts ripples in the universe. In its simplest form, the world is energy, made from energy, a creator and a radiator of energy dictated by energy. You too are made of energy. And so the actionable strategy for tapping into the infinite stream of abundance has everything to do with your energy. What are you broadcasting? What is the vibrational imprint you are leaving on the world? What frequency is your music playing at? Harnessing and being intentional with your energy is the actionable strategy. Then it says, like each section has like a bold line. So it says, it's not about what you do, it's about who you are. Your biggest gift to the world is your presence, your pure energy. Think about it. One of the highest compliments to receive is you've got great energy, right? Sure. It feels good to have someone compliment your hair, your smile, or the college you went to, or the work that you do. But when someone notices your energy, that's above and beyond. When you're a walking, talking vibration of pure energy, there's nothing more attractive and there's nothing more delicious. Dropping into the you of you isn't just liberating, but it also catapults your ability to manifest. Here's a fun example from Matthew McConaughey. It's a story that he shared with me on my podcast. Before he became known as the hot guy on our movie screens, he had been going to law school and he realized he just didn't want to be a lawyer. He finally summoned the courage to face his tough Texan dad. And he said, I can't do this anymore. I'm dropping out of law school. I don't want to be a lawyer. I actually want to be an actor. He was so scared to do this, but he called, gave his dad the news and cringed, wondering, what is he going to say? His dad's response was, well, don't half-ass it. Matthew thought to himself, okay, I could live with that. He was feeling so good because he broke through the limiting garbage, and now he finally made the decision that he was going to be an actor. He went with his girlfriend that night to a bar at the top of the Hyatt Hotel, and they were having drinks with a friend who was a bartender. They were enjoying the free vodka tonics, and the bartender friend says, "Hey, there's a guy at the end of the bar who's producing a film. He wants to meet you. His name is Don Phillips." 4 hours later, and a few more vodka tonics, Don Phillips and Matthew are getting kicked out of the bar for being so loud and obnoxious. Don offers to drop Matthew off at home on the way back. They're talking and getting along great. And Don says, "Hey, have you ever done any acting?" He says, "Yeah, I was a hand, I was in a hand commercial. I was in the background. No, yes, I was in the background of a Miller Lite commercial. I think they saw my hand." "Well," he says, "there's a script called Dazed and Confused, some movie I'm in town producing. You might be up for this. You might be right for a small part. Come to this address tomorrow morning." Matthew picked up the script the next day and saw there was a handwritten note from Don with the scenes that he wanted him in marked. He worked on the scenes. He came there ready. On his first day of shooting, Matthew walked out on the set, and the director, Richard Linklater, took a break in the middle of shooting, came over and looked at him up and down. He said, "Hang on a second. You see that woman right there? She's one of the characters in the movie. Would you ask her out?" Matthew said, "Yeah, I definitely would." The director said, "Cool. Can I just have you pick her up in the scene?" Matthew took 30 minutes to figure out what he was going to say. There wasn't anything written for him in the script, and now he was being asked to improvise. They put a mic on him, got him in the car, and he's about to shoot the first scene in the movie. The first scene in the first movie he's ever shot, and there's not a word of dialogue written. The whole time he was thinking, who is this? Who's my character? Who's Wooderson? What is Wooderson about? He thought, okay, Wooderson is about nice car. Yes, I'm in my 70s Chevelle. I got that one. Wooderson's about smoking weed. He goes, all right, my friend's right here rolling up a joint. He goes, and Wooderson's about rock and roll. And he goes, all right, I guess I got all three. All of a sudden, the director called action. Matthew looked up and thought, there's this redheaded girl, Cynthia, that I'm going to go pick up. Wooderson's about to pick up the chicks. He put the car in drive and said in his mind, I got 3 out of 4, going to get the 4th. The next words that came out of his mouth were the first words he ever said on film. All right, all right, all right. And the rest is history. I love this story because it's such an example of the synchronicity that meets us when we are truly in alignment with our authentic self. It's an important reminder that there's so much magic we can create when we just tune into our own music, become true to ourselves. When we drop in, we become a match for the miracles that are possible. Instead of asking yourself, what am I supposed to do? Ask yourself, who am I supposed to be? I'm going to take a pause. We're still not done with chapter 1. But how fun is that story? And by the way, interviewing him, I spent an hour and a half alone with him, and he is hotter than you even think. It's insane. I mean, it's like red hot, 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 hot. It's insane that a person should be that handsome and cool and nice and generous and easy to be around. He's amazing. Okay, wait, I'm gonna read the next part of this in a second. I want my team to give away another Starbucks card for anybody who's in the chat. Okay, the next part of this is all still part of chapter 1. Plugging in. The most impactful people in the world of tech, fashion, business, and music are tuned into the frequency of abundance. Their creative energy ripples outward, touching everyone in their orbit, making an imprint on the world. We all know people who emit palpable, positive energy, and these are the folks we all ought to emulate. I say this as if it's that simple. And while it is simple, that doesn't make it necessarily easy. When people attend my live workshops or leave a note in the chat asking, but how? How do I make it happen? What's the actionable strategy? I understand and I empathize with that frustration. Most of us are focused on the physical world and on taking physical action. And what I suggest is counterintuitive, so allow me to make the point another way. My husband, Lowell, is a lawyer by trade and a practical man who thinks decisions through very carefully. I'm very spontaneous. I tend to act before I think. When we moved into our current house, we made a list of new things we needed and others we wanted to replace. Without consulting my husband, I went on a spending spree on Amazon, and when I was finished, there was only one item left that we needed, a toaster. He appealed to me. You bought everything else. Let this be one thing I get to buy. A solid point, a fair request. Go for it, I said, and thought, how hard could it be? We drive past Home Goods and Target every day on the way to the girls' school. Amazon Prime delivers in your sleep. And still, it took 6 weeks before I could have my bagel toasted. When it finally did arrive, Lowell's argument was that he wanted to be sure to buy the one with the best reviews and all the bells and whistles, and he took the time to research. Okay, I thought, let the man have his fancy toaster. The first morning I went to use the shiny new toaster, I couldn't figure it out. This toaster had so many settings, so many bells and whistles, I thought I might need to watch a YouTube tutorial to figure it out. Finally, in frustration, I called out to him, it's not working. A minute later, my husband calmly walked into the kitchen, assessed the situation with a smile, reached behind the appliance, held up the cord. Kath, you have to plug it in. I felt like an idiot, but I love the metaphor. An expensive, beautiful toaster is still useless if it's not plugged in. And similarly, we don't perform at our optimal efficiency if we don't plug into our own life force. It is that simple. You have to plug yourself into the energetic current of life before anything good can happen. The number one reason why we're not plugged in, feeling toasty on the inside and emanating our magnetic life force outward, is because we've been thrown off track, believing that what we must plug into is external sources to turn the heat on. We've been taught to believe that our fortune and fulfillment will be found by plugging into the right job, the right house, the right vacation. Our culture encourages us to plug into our phones and other devices to fill us up. We've been taught to outsource our lives when the opposite is true. The only outlet that truly works is the one located within. And if you believe this isn't true, if you believe that you possess only lack, only emptiness and limitation, then you don't know what you're truly made of. I want you to take a moment and picture one of the most peaceful places you've ever been. It's so incredibly calming and delightful, you just love being there. Picture yourself there. Now I want you to think of something that is a protector. It could be something mystical. It could be an animal. It could be a lion. It could be a panther. Maybe it's a Jedi force. Whatever your protector is, take a second and think of what that could be. Pick something. Don't think too hard about it. Now I want you to see yourself in this beautiful place. Wherever you are in this place, picture that there's also this protector there with you to protect you right beside you. Feel what it feels like to have this visceral, full body protective force while being in this beautiful, peaceful, gorgeous place where you're so at ease. Feel it. I want you to call back to this feeling because that is always inside of you. It's your capacity to move into this place where your nervous system is at ease and relaxed. So you're available to repair, to create, to flow like a river. What allows you to do that, what allows you to be safe, to be abundant, is that you are protected on the highest level. Like the part of you that's connected to the divinity, the part of you that is the most relaxed is the most powerful part. It protects you so that it allows you to give you the capacity to create. You are safe to be abundant because the universe is abundant and safe and creative. You are safe when you come from that consciousness. The reason I was able to come to Los Angeles at 23 when everyone else around me said it's not possible is because I was moving from this higher consciousness. I had already come from 3 years of sitting in the mystical, sitting in Jerusalem, walking through the streets, breathing that air, getting it inside of every cell of my being. So when I came here, I was safe to be abundant. I was safe to feel good. I was safe to be powerful because the universe is powerful. The universe is safe. The universe is abundant. And the universe is a creative force. You can just be with that. You could be with all of it. It's a mind trick that you need something outside of you to be safe, to be abundant, or to be creative. My husband and I met at a Jewish mysticism class. I found my way to abundance by tuning into my own frequency. This part we actually cut from the book, but I'll read it to you anyway. I had already worked at a commercial real estate firm. I quit that. I got into music. I started making money, good money with music, and then I got married. At this, I had already had the experience of making $400,000 a year with music. I was driving this 2-door Mercedes coupe that I paid for myself. I didn't really need anybody to make me abundant. It only grew even more once I got married because his kindness and loyalty was even more of what made me whole. It definitely helped heal my wounds and it allowed me to receive even more exponentially. I was lucky to have learned it already, that I was capable of tuning into abundance on my own. All of it was already available. Take that knowledge with you and call on it when you need, because you move from your mind and you really can't create from inside of this place that's wounded. When you move with the universe, you create wealth, because the universe is designed to create wealth. It is abundant. It just keeps providing. That's what it does. And that's what you can do too. So then there's a little box, and throughout the book, there's like these little like meditations or visuals or workbook kind of questions. So then it says in this box, the purpose of meditation is to align your energy with the infinite stream of abundance. Breathe in, I am not my thoughts. Breathe out, my true self is the lightness of being that's beyond the narrative of my mind. Breathe in, I am not my ego. I am not separate and alone. Breathe out, I am infinite. Breathe in, I am light, bright, limitless love. Breathe out, my essence is whole. There's nothing to wish for. It's already here. As you continue to breathe, notice the part of you that is an endless flow of energy, connected to the symphony of the universe. Feel into that vibration and listen closely. Can you hear the melody of wholeness? Okay, so that's what's in the box. And then it goes back into chapter 1. Asking for an abundant life is not selfish or shameful, something to feel guilty or embarrassed about. Abundance is your inherent right. It's within. It's the current of life. A redwood tree is tall, and eagles fly so high. Everything in this natural world is here to thrive, including you. We are each made to grow, to soar, to thrive. When we don't, we feel in lack. It's because we're out of alignment with our true intention, because we're not plugged in. So plug in now. And when you're fully charged, you become magnetic, and people can't wait to be in relationship with you, to be near you, because that energetic is a match to receiving infinite abundance. In terms of receiving material wealth, it's always our energy that opens those locks. Holding a positive vibration is what turns the key. Our feelings of lack and separation are generated by the mind, but you know this by now. You're not your thoughts, you're not the voices in your head. Rather, you're an extension of the infinite, endless light that was, is, and always will be. The more you quiet the swirling mind, you connect with the source of abundance, the one hidden in plain sight. This is why meditation and bringing your attention to the present moment is so important, because everything we're seeking is here within. So many of us have bought into the illusion of separation. What's theirs is theirs. What's mine is mine. On a physical 3D level, we see a world of separation. Yet what I've come to understand is that when we are on an energetic level, all that we feel is the oneness that exists. If only we could fashion glasses that allow us to see beyond 3D, what would we see? Ribbons of energy within one infinite field, sound waves wrapping around the earth like a rainbow. If we could see beyond 3D, we'd instantly recognize that we're all connected to one another by the lightness of our own being, as each wave and ripple is connected by the wholeness of the ocean. Sometimes people wonder if it's a contradiction to be deeply spiritual and wealthy at the same time. Somehow there's this false belief that the more spiritual a person, the less they should have. My friend Emily Fletcher asked me, how did you go from studying in Jerusalem to teaching people how to manifest millions of dollars? My answer, it's because they're totally the same. She said, say more. So here it is. I've come to understand it turns out that our whole job here is to have this radical reception, period. To move out of our resistant thoughts and into an elevated vibration where we are receptive and operating in a flow state. The ego thinks it's separate from all things in the world. If you identify yourself as an ego, then you'd probably conclude that it's bad when one individual receives more, as it means there is, because it's more for you and less for everyone else. But if we're all one, and each of us is part of the oneness, why would you not want to receive? Each of us is receiving on behalf of the collective. You would never look at these redwood trees and think they should only have a small amount of water, or worry that they're just too tall. You don't judge a redwood tree for taking up the space, because if you zoom out, this redwood is actually adding to the total health and magnificence of the whole forest. Similarly, if we're all one and each of us is part of oneness, why would you not want to receive? Each of us is receiving on behalf of the collective. So why would you not receive if you're really a lightning rod? You're a conductor of more energy, more love, more abundance. The ego would have us believe it's separate from all things in the world. If you identify as an ego, then you would conclude that it's bad. The assignment for each of us is to live our life from this higher place of consciousness, set down the ego. We're all here to thrive, expand our capacity to receive on behalf of the whole. We must learn to reject that. Why would you have less? Only because you believe there's not enough. Only because you believe whatever you take away, you take from someone else. All of that is scarcity consciousness that makes us feel that others having more means there's not enough. None of that is abundance. None of that is actually how the universe is made. Tell me in the chat, what so far have you learned in chapter 1 that you want to remember? I love that I can actually read your comments now. I couldn't really read them because I was busy reading. Stay in the energy, radical reception. Love the toaster analogy. Yes. Possibility versus probability. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So this is actually, not only is it really fun, but it's really good for me too, because I have to record the audiobook of this. When is that, Emma? When am I recording that? I think September or October. And so it's actually really good for me to be reading it because you have no idea how hard it is to record an audiobook because you have to keep the energy and and they make you repeat lines and you have a director. And I'm I never do anything like that. So it's actually really good for me to read this. So we already said we were going to do more of these, but we're going to do even more of these than we thought. Also because the book is quite, it's not longer than most books, but it's long. It's I would say it's going to wind up being I'm going to guess once I hold it in my hands, I think it's going to be 280 pages or something. And so it takes a minute to get through each chapter. So I think that what we should do is pause for now and we'll come back and we'll finish. We'll finish the next chapter and we'll keep going. Let me just look at this. Let me see if I could, because there's another, I was just looking to see, there's so much more good stuff in this book. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to write down if everything is possible, then this is what would make me so happy. If everything is possible, right? If you were Harold in the Purple Crayon, if you didn't give any weight to probability, if all potentials exist, if you could just suspend your analytical mind for a moment, what would you want to create? What station do you want to tune to? What would you want to experience in your life? Ease, living by the ocean. Beautiful. Being one in the quantum field, feeling peace and joy. I love that. I hope that the more you keep listening to these kinds of things, the book, the podcast, that you just keep memorizing where on the radio you want to be so that there's no static and you continue to know how to get back to that station, because you do have the capacity to turn that radio dial and you'll have a totally different day. You'll wind up meeting people, you'll wind up seeing different things. I'm telling you, the energy that you imprint into the quantum field every single day, it'll change your capacity to hear different songs. And so the best songs, which are all playing, how is it that 3 people live on the same block? They're having different experiences. They're listening to different songs, right? And so they're not having the same experience. One person is having fun, the other person is not. It's there's a lot going on that is available. And so I want you to just keep practicing that. And this book takes you really on a journey. So there's a lot. This is I've read you 2/3 of chapter 1, and then I think it's 15 chapters, and it goes into a lot of yummy stuff. And there's little questions to answer. There's meditations. And at the back of the book, there's a QR code for you to get more stuff let me tell you a few announcements. Number one, let me repeat, whoever buys the most, we're going to pick the two of you who buy the most copies of the book in the next 24 hours. And whatever the most is will be the most, right? We don't know. It's like buying something in an auction, right? It might be that the most copies was 8 copies. It might be that the most copies, somebody bought 20 copies, whatever it is. Whoever buys the most copies in the next 24 hours, send us a subject line, hello@kathyheller.com, send an email with the subject line, one-on-one raffle, and send a screenshot of your order number, how many books you ordered. Let us see. And then I will do one-on-one sessions with those 2 people. Why not? Just for fun, because you were here. I think that's an extra fun thing to do. And I would say, if you like this book, I think it's a really worthwhile idea. The book comes out December 3rd, which is right before the new year, obviously. I think it's a really cool idea to buy 5 or 10 copies of the book and do this as a book club with your friends and start it in January and say, we're going to live on a higher frequency this year. And I think it's a cool gift to say, I really do. I think that's a really noble pursuit, and we're so much better off when we have accountability. So why not do that? So there's that. The other thing I would say is, if you join the street team, those of you who join the street team, we want to give you guys extra fun and goodies. So you can go to kathyheller.com/launch to join the street team. And there's like a bingo card of things that we're asking you guys to do and share about the book. And we'll pick some of you in the street team and send you physical advanced copies in the mail, probably in the next few weeks once we get them. And then we'll ask you for a review on Goodreads if you'd like to do that. And in the launch team, in the street team, we'll pick 10 of you who buy the most copies this month of August. And then I'll take those 10 of you, or at least I'll invite those 10 of you. If you want to come, you can come to lunch with me at Hotel Bel Air. And that'll be like a 3-hour lunch, and we'll talk, and I'll offer support and coaching just for free, just for having bought a bunch of copies. And for those of you who buy a bunch of copies but can't make it, I'll send you like a $200 DoorDash gift card so you can buy yourself lunch. So we're going to do fun things like that on the street team, because I'm so appreciative. It really takes a village, to get the work out there. It takes a village. It takes a tipping point. And I think this is worthy of being passed around, because I think just by people reading chapter 1, they will feel different. And there have been books in my life where just one paragraph of a book has helped me free myself from something really heavy. A thought doesn't weigh anything, but it's so heavy. It changes how much energy we have. And so if we can change the way we see the world, if we can change the way we feel, we can create so much lightness in the world. And I think that we think all the time about how to make the world better, but when we as a world, in our inner world, feel a lot lighter and peaceful, we become very creative. And we wind up rippling into the world a lot of cool stuff, and it changes things very quickly. So I would love for you guys to be in on this. Let's give away now. I think we already gave away 1 pair of headphones. Let's give away 2 more pairs of headphones for those of you just being here. And then also on a totally separate topic, if you want to start a podcast, right now we're in pre-sale of my podcast course. And there's a lot of cool things, because if you're an alumni, there's like a 50% off coupon that you get. If you're in our collective, there's a coupon code that you can get. And we're also running a scholarship giveaway for that. So my team, I forget how to tell you guys how to apply for the scholarship, but we're giving away like a 50% off just for someone who's not alumni, if you want to do that. Starting my podcast has become, it was just such an incredible experience of abundance. Sitting down and having one-on-one conversations with people that I admire is such an abundant thing. Just the doing the work itself, it just feels so good. I learned so much. I've grown so much. I've met people around. I just highly recommend, even just as like a thing to do as part of your life, is having long conversations with people, and you may as well record them and send them out in the world. So if you're interested in that, and the course is right now on pre-sale until Monday, and then the pre-sale ends, and we start the course at the, I think, end of September. Does anyone have any questions or comments that my team can answer? And Jen, do you have anything you want to say that I didn't say? I feel like there's always 15 things. Also, if you're not in the membership, you should join the membership. Those of you who buy the book, you get to try out the membership. So I hope that you will try it. And this was just so much fun today. So we will follow up with you and tell you when our next book club is going to be, I believe. Or Jen, do you already know the dates? I feel like we already set the dates for those. I think it's like the first week of every month. I feel like it's on a Thursday. Is that right? We will follow.
Yes, in general, it is the first Thursday of every month. However, we have a little shift in October. But as Guy just dropped into the chat, the AEA or the book club hub, you can go there and all of the dates are there. The dates and times are available for you there. The next one is on September 5th at 9 a.m.
Okay,
Pacific.
amazing. I'm really excited to see. Did you guys announce the winners? And by the way, tell them how they can collect their prizes for everything we just gave away. Starbucks cards, I think. Okay, here it is. So here's the winners. Lori Delap, Jacqueline Baird, Katya, Kara, Randy, Nicole, Liz, you guys all won $25 Starbucks cards. And then headphones, Beats headphones, Diana, you guys see this up here? Laura, if you want to collect them, you send an email to hello@kathyhowe.com and you can collect your prize. How fun is that? So look for that information and we'll do this again. We'll send you guys the email of when we're doing this again. Type a 1 in the chat if you're going to if you're going to try to be one of the people who buys the most amount of books. And if you want to do that, you're going to buy the most books that you think of. I'm going to give the top 2 people a free one-on-one session. By the way, I don't even offer those. I just felt like that was the most valuable thing I could give you because I don't ever have it. It's pretty scarce. And what you're going to do to enter that is email hello@kathyhowe.com with the subject line one-on-one raffle, and then just include a screenshot of how many books you ordered. And we'll have a one-on-one time together over Zoom. Thank you for being a part of this today. It was really so much fun. I hope that you wind up having an extra good day. And thank you for supporting me and the book. I'm very excited. You made me even more excited about it. Talk to you soon, guys.